Americans are leaving this country in record numbers. And I'm not talking about vacation. I'm talking packing their bags, booking their flights, and leaving for good. In the first few months of 2025 alone, the amount of people that just said, I'm done, and moved abroad doubled from the year before.
Whichever you want to do. We're going to help you profile yourself to determine what place is best for you. And I already heard somebody talking on the way down. This is an exclusion process for them. They're going to take off places they don't want to go, which is a perfectly valid way to...
That's not just a blip, okay? That's a wave. So why? Same reasons you and I complain about every day. Cost of living going through the roof, political chaos that never seems to end, and the fear of safety even when you're just going to the grocery store. But here's the thing, it's not just dreamers or millionaires doing it. It's normal people. It's people with families. It's young people, old people, retirees, people who are working remote. One common thread holding all of these people together is they just want a dignified life. That's why you're seeing places like Greece, Spain, France, Portugal. Their cafes are filling up with Americans who are just done. People love to scream, if you don't like it, leave. Well, we are, thousands and thousands of us.
You know, the American dream, the big house, the white picket fence, 2.5 kids. Yeah, well, what if I told you she packed her bags, got a passport, and is now living her best life somewhere in Europe? Because for a whole lot of Americans, the dream of affordable healthcare, safe neighborhoods, and a life that doesn't crush your soul isn't here anymore. It's overseas. And I'm not talking about a few rebels. I'm talking about millions. The latest count says there are about 5.5 million American civilians living abroad. That's basically the entire state of Minnesota packing up and saying, deuces, your neighbors are getting their passports ready. And honestly, they might be onto something. So in this video, we're not just gonna look at the numbers. We're gonna get into the why. We're breaking down the real reasons, the stuff that hits you in your gut, that are making everyday Americans say, I am out. We'll find out how they're getting a better quality of life for a fraction of the cost and why the new American dream might just be leaving America. So, why are people bouncing? Well, before we get to the bon voyage part, let's talk about the mess they're leaving behind. For the longest time, America was the place to be. You work hard, you get a better life. Simple. But for so many people today, that deal feels like a scam. There's this feeling that the system is rigged and you're stuck on a hamster wheel that's just spinning faster and faster while the little food pellet gets smaller. Let's just be real about the pain points, because if you're living it, you know. First off, the money. The cost of living crisis isn't just some headline. It's you at the grocery store staring at a carton of eggs that costs more than your Netflix subscription. It's a housing market so wild that owning a home feels like a fantasy. It's working harder than your parents ever did just to stay afloat. Some reports show the average household is spending over $77,000 a year just to live. And that number just keeps going up. All that financial pressure builds up. It turns your life into a game of, can I afford it? Where the answer is always no. And God forbid, retirement just gets pushed further and further away.
Money for me to move out. Okay, cool. It's been 10 months. He has saved almost every dime and still can't afford to live. Why are one-bedroom studio apartments almost $2,000 a month? Why? Like, I just don't get it. So I don't even think that there's even classes anymore. There used to be, upper class, middle class, lower class. It's literally turning into the ultra wealthy, and then everybody else is just poor. Like, that's what is happening. And then I told him, hey, when you turn 25, at least your car insurance will go down. Hell no, he turned 25, and his car insurance went up $150. I told him, if you need health insurance, get a good job. He has health insurance. He has had a medical emergency this week. Had to go to emergency room twice. He had to go to the emergency room because he couldn't get anybody to see him with the health insurance that he had. Right? So he had to go to an emergency room. Now he's out money for that too. It seems like you can never get ahead. And then my daughter, I told her all you have to do, because she wanted to buy her own house. My daughter worked 6 days a week, 12 hours a day to save up enough for this down payment. Finally got this house. She's paid double what I'm paying for my mortgage, but her loan was the same amount. And then her mortgage company, after she's already moved in, said, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you that you need this type of coverage, which we forgot at the beginning. That's an extra $200 you've been paying a month. And all they see when they come home is they watch social media, kids their age, on lavish vacations with all this money and nothing to do, all these social media influencers, because we value those types of things over hard workers. We will pay them $10,000, but you work 40 hours a week, you can't afford it.
Are you tired of working 2, 3 jobs and still feeling broke? Like the bills hitting harder than Mike Tyson in the 90s? Baby, I know the struggle. Rent high, groceries high, even the air feel like it's taxed at this point. Now listen, what if I told you there's a way to stop stressing about money and actually build something online that pays you even while you sleep? I'm talking about affiliate marketing. And before you roll your eyes, no, this ain't no scam. It's no pyramid scheme. No buy my course for $999 nonsense. I'm talking about Wealthy Affiliate, which can get you that move abroad. And you can work it being abroad. It's a platform that literally teaches you step by step how to build your own online business. No tech degree, no special skills needed, just your hustle and a laptop. And the best part, you don't need a boss. You don't need permission. You just need the drive to change your situation. So if you're tired of letting this economy drag you by your edges, click the link in my pinned comment below this video. Get started today. Don't wait till you broke and bitter child. Start building something that can actually free you up and get out of America too. Wealthy Affiliate got the blueprint. You just gotta walk it. All right? How about back to the tea? Then there's, well, everybody else. The whole country feels like it's one big angry Thanksgiving dinner. The political division is exhausting. It's in your DMs, it's at work, it's everywhere. People are just tired of the fighting and the killings and the hangings. It's gotten so bad that a 2024 report said a third of real estate agents had clients who literally moved to get away from the politics of their state. People aren't just sick of the noise, they're looking for an exit.
With America's downward spiral into fascism and Trump's mania, I see more and more Americans saying that they want to move abroad. I personally lived 3 years abroad in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it was an amazing time in my life. I just want to share that this turn towards fascism, this hatred towards other groups of people, this isolationist mentality is not just happening in a vacuum. These conservative fascist movements are popping up all around the world. In South America, in Brazil with Bolsonaro, you see trends like this in Germany, even in the UK, the Conservative Party, even in Canada. These movements are happening all around the world. So by traveling abroad or moving abroad, you're not removing yourself from these issues. I'm here to just give a reminder that you, by moving abroad, is not escaping these issues. We need to continue to fight because no matter where you live, actively, our global population is moving more towards conservative movements, and we need to fight back.
And that's on top of the deep, constant worry about safety. America's struggle with gun violence is something other developed countries just don't have. And if you're a parent, that fear for your kids is a heavy, heavy weight.
Look, it's very simple why you might not like America if you live here and want to leave. People say all these are, it's very, very simple. This is the reason, okay? It's because we live in a country where after a school shooting, the NRA frequently has meetings right after the school shooting promoting no gun laws.
Y'all, as an American living in London, I'm really fighting for my life out here trying to defend America. I cannot tell you guys how many times someone has heard my accent and realized I'm from America, and they're like, oh, America seems cool, but I would never move there because y'all have too many guns and y'all get shot every single day. Which, to be fair, is a valid point, but I'm like, I don't know if I've just become so desensitized to the rampant gun violence in America that I'm just like, okay, like it's not that deep, which is horrible because it 100% is that deep. But I'm just like, I'm shocked. Like literally all Americans are known for overseas, because this hasn't just happened in London. This has happened in quite a few other countries as well. Everyone just, when they think of America, they think of guns. America is synonymous with guns. And I'm just like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what to say because we also don't know what's going on. Like we don't know why our politicians are putting profits over lives. Like nobody knows what's going on. And I just feel like every single time somebody comments on it, I'm just like, dang, like America has so much more to it. But to be fair, like there is a huge gun violence problem. I don't know. I'm running out of things to say. Like, I'm running out of things to say, ways to defend America. I feel like patriotic Patty. And I really want to say, give America a chance. Like, yes, there's a lot of gun violence, but there's so many other things that America has to offer. But, like, that's an issue. Like, nobody wants to visit a country and be worried for their life. Like, this is so bad, and I generally just don't know what to say anymore.
And finally, the big one, the monster under the bed, healthcare. America spends more on healthcare per person than any other rich nation. But our results are often worse. It's like paying for a Chanel bag and getting a knockoff from a trunk. For millions, the fear that one trip to the ER could wipe out everything you've ever worked for is very, very real. The whole system of private insurance, crazy premiums, and bills that show up out of nowhere is a nightmare. You add all that up, the money problems, the social drama, the healthcare anxiety, and you get a picture of a country where life is just getting harder for the average person. It's a place where people feel like they're working themselves to death for a system that doesn't care about them. So wanting to leave isn't about hating America. It's a totally rational choice to go find a better life. And that's exactly what millions of people are doing.
I don't know why I'm crying about this, but it just really frustrates me. Like, the medical system here in the US sucks. They just care about your money, and they don't want to help you for real. I just spent literally half of the little bit amount of money that I had, because I haven't been working, to go get a surgical consultation because I have a broken toe, just to find out that I'm not even talking to the doctor, I'm talking to like a medical student, who, if the medical student feels I should get surgery, then would recommend me to go talk to the surgeon, which would be another copay. Then to see what the surgeon recommends. And he was like, basically, that he doesn't recommend me getting surgery. And yeah, just wear shoes at all times. And I'm like, wear shoes at all times? Like, come on, bro. That's the best you have for me? Wear shoes at all times? Like, how realistic is that? And he was like, I mean, if you still want to talk to the surgeon, you can, but I just feel like it will be a waste of your time. And I'm like, this was a waste of my time. Like, that's why it took me 6 months to even do this, because I always feel like it's a money grab, and I always feel like it's a waste of my time, and like I get dismissed and nobody actually wants to help me. And it's like, y'all knew how long it had been since I broken my toe when I made this appointment. So why wouldn't you just tell me from the jump you didn't recommend the surgery? Why let me drive over an hour, spend the copay, when I already don't even have money to just be fucking spending on BS? Like, because that's all that they want. That's all that they want at the end of the day. They don't care about our health. They don't. And I'm really sick and tired of this system. Like, I'm sick and tired of feeling like I literally am forced to be my own doctor. I'm forced to just figure out everything by myself. It's exhausting.
So what's the final straw that makes someone pack it all up? We looked at the data and the stories, and it really comes down to 5 main things. So let's count them down. Motivation. The remote work revolution. All right, coming in at number 5 on the why I'm out of here list, the remote work boom. Before the pandemic, moving abroad was mostly for retirees or people who landed a fancy international job. Your career basically had you on a leash. Well, for millions of people, that leash has been cut. The deal is simple. Since so many jobs are remote now, a huge chunk of professionals are no longer tied to a desk in a specific city. This has blown the door wide open for people who aren't rich or retired. All you need is a laptop and a decent Wi-Fi connection, and you can see it in who's moving. It's not just retirees anymore. It's professionals in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. And countries are noticing. Over 66 of them have rolled out digital nomad visas to attract these folks. And the impact, it's a game changer. It means you don't have to choose between having a career and having a life. It can make you feel rich in a country with a lower cost of living. It lets families get out of the rat race without giving up their income. This isn't just a fad, it's a whole new way of thinking about work and life. It created a new generation of expats who are young, working, and ready for an adventure.
If the black jobs have been stolen in your area, it may be time to move abroad, so here are the easiest places to get a digital nomad visa. Seychelles in East Africa does not have an income requirement for anyone who applies for their workation permit. The application costs $49 and your visa will be valid for 1 year. You will be exempt from taxes and you can renew your visa for as long as you're working outside of the country. Bahamas has a Beats permit program which allows people to stay for 1 year and they can renew this visa for up to 3 years. There are no income requirements and the processing time only takes 5 days. However, the application costs $25. Once you are accepted, you have to pay an additional $1,000, and then you also have to pay an additional $500 for each dependent. Albania is another place where it's also really easy to get a digital visa. This visa is valid for 1 year, but you can renew it for up to 5 years. Your application takes 15 to 30 days to process, and it will cost between $64 and $107, depending on single or multiple entry. St. Lucia is another country in the Caribbean where it's really easy to get a digital nomad visa right now. It's through their Live It program, and after 183 days of this program, you are required to pay taxes in the country. It only takes 5 days to process, and the cost is between $46 and $70. It's also pretty easy to get a digital nomad visa to Argentina. It only costs $200 for the application. It takes 2 to 4 weeks for your application to process, and when it is accepted, you will be expected to pay taxes in Argentina.
More than 60% of Americans who move overseas end up returning within a year. And one of the biggest reasons is an unexpected tax or residency shock. Not because it's too hard, not because it's too expensive, but they didn't understand the surface level rules that governed their move. The United States is one of 2 countries alongside Eritrea that taxes citizens regardless of where they live. What this means is when you move to Lisbon, Mexico City, Tokyo, or Bali, the IRS doesn't forget you because you left.
Now, next up is a big one, and it's all about feelings. The search for safety. It's the hunt for peace and quiet. This isn't just about crime stats. It's about being able to unclench your jaw and actually relax in your own neighborhood. The claim is heavy. More and more Americans are leaving because they are just plain tired of the violence and tension back home. The hangings, the shootings, the police brutality. The U.S. has one of the highest rates of gun violence in the developed world. And that fact lives in the back of your mind, especially if you have kids. Worries about safety and crime are a huge reason people decide to immigrate. And the proof is in the pudding when you compare the U.S. to where these folks are going. Countries like Portugal, Spain, and Canada are always ranked way higher on global safety lists. In 2017, Portugal was ranked the 3rd safety country in the world. The U.S., we were 156 spots behind them. 156. Let that sink in. This isn't just a number, it changes how you live. It's being able to walk around at night. It's sending your kids to school without that constant sickening feeling of dread. It's just peace. The effect on your quality of life is huge. It's like taking off a weighted vest you didn't even know that you were wearing. Expats always use words like relaxed, peaceful, and safe to describe their new homes. When you're not always looking over your shoulder, you have to so much more energy for your family and your hobbies and just enjoying life. For a lot of people, that feeling of safety is worth more than anything. Now, at number 3, we've got the reason that has shot up the charts lately. People are just politically exhausted. Americans are tired, y'all. Tired of the anger, tired of the division, tired of feeling like the country is in a constant civil war. Here's the deal. The nonstop political drama is literally pushing people out of the country. This isn't about being a Democrat or a Republican. It's about being completely over the whole toxic system. The 24/7 outrage machine on TV and social media has made it impossible to just have a normal conversation. For a lot of folks, it just doesn't feel like their country anymore. You can see it in the Google searches. After any big election or political mess, searches for how to move to Canada go through the roof. Relocation agencies say that for a huge number of their American clients, sometimes up to 80%, politics is the main reason for leaving. They're looking for countries that are just less crazy, more stable, more unified. Some are even getting Plan B residencies just in case things go sideways in an election. The results is that people are just choosing to opt out of the drama. By moving, they're stepping away from the daily screaming match. They find that in other countries, people can disagree about politics and still go get a beer together. And that is a massive relief. As one expat said, she just decided to leave to be happier, asking, is it worth it to you to fight the fight? Because honestly, I don't have it in me. For them, the pursuit of happiness meant pursuing a zip code where politics isn't a blood sport.
Okay, y'all. So last night I had made a post talking about how, I wanted to do some research in terms of what it would be like moving overseas. And I did a little bit of research, and I think I came up with a few concerns that I want to discuss with y'all. So first things first, I fear that in another few years or so, once these countries, these small countries or whatever, all these countries that are overseas, once they realize how many Americans are starting to move there, I fear that the cost of living is going to start going up. And that's going to become a problem. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, inevitably that's going to happen because they're going to see that the demand is so much higher. It's starting to get more crowded. So, yeah, they're going to raise the cost of living, and it's going to discourage other Americans from wanting to move in. Because think about it, before COVID, or during COVID, should I say, the same thing happened to a lot of these places down south. Whether we're talking North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, it was so reasonable and possible for you to get a 2-bedroom apartment for under $1,000. And I've seen it because I've watched plenty of YouTube videos that, that proved it. But what happened was during COVID, so many of these people who had their work from home jobs was leaving their hometown. They were leaving New York or whatever they were up north, and they were moving to Florida. They were moving to Dallas or Houston. They were moving to, North Carolina. They was moving to these places, and they're making content about it on YouTube. So ironically, after that, the demand has gotten so much higher. This is why when you're on the internet and you see people in Florida or you see people in Texas or whatever, they say, stay where you are. Don't come here. We're already crowded enough. This is how they feel. And I understand how they feel because now they got more traffic than ever. Now the auto insurance is higher than ever. And now the cost of living, the rent is higher than ever. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that I fear that these residents in these countries that y'all speak of, they're going to start noticing that y'all are thriving more than them in their own country. And they're going to see it as exploitation. And then that's where you're going to start seeing their true colors. That's where the discrimination is going to come out. That's where the racism is going to come out. That's when they're going to start going out their way to make you uncomfortable so that you no longer want to be there. This is what I fear. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, some of these same things is taking place in these other places. You know what I'm saying? It's happening in Florida. It's happening in Texas. It's happening in the Carolinas. It's happening in Louisiana. Because so many people from up north or from west or whatever are moving there, migrating there, and thriving there. And, it's gotten really crowded. It's gotten really congested and overwhelming. So now people are going out their way to make you feel uncomfortable in these places. So it would discourage you from wanting to be there. That's the second thing. Now, the last thing, this might be a little bit of a reach, but it's not exactly far-fetched. I believe, or I fear, that our president, as long as he's still in office, once he realizes that so many Americans are leaving to move to these other countries and become citizens there, he's going to declare war with these countries. Because he's going to feel like he's missing out on something. He's going to feel like he's missing out on whatever, whatever profits he can make off of these people, whatever exploitations he can make off of these people. And his ego is going to make him feel like, oh, well, these people are leaving because of me. So he's going to declare war with all these other countries. And then what the fuck you think is going to happen? They're going to demand that you leave. So with all that being said, you know what I've come across on the internet yet last night and just this morning? In Canada, and this is going on for like the second or third time, majority of the residents there are not paying any bills. They're not paying rent, they're not paying mortgage, they're not paying their car note, they're not paying their credit card bills. They all decided we ain't gonna pay shit until y'all do something about the cost of living. That's what they are doing in Canada right now. So instead of us trying to leave the fucking country that we helped build, why don't we make the same fucking demand? Why? Why are we trying to find other places to live instead of doing like what they're doing over in Canada? Do you know how much trouble this country would be in if we all decided tomorrow's Monday, we ain't going to work? Fuck that shit. Do you know what it would do to the stock market? Do you know what it would do to this fucking country? Just one day that everybody decide not to go to work. So let's be for real. The problem isn't the government. The problem isn't our president. The problem isn't Congress, anything. The problem is us. We're not fucking brave enough. We're not bold enough as Canada, for that matter, to decide to make such a sacrifice. We're worried about the wrong things. If we were willing to make that kind of sacrifice, then just maybe, you know what I'm saying? And I don't see why not. This fucking government, the president, whoever, they will have no choice but decide to compromise with us. But we're all fucking cowards. That's what it comes down to.
Look, if this is hitting home and making you think, this doesn't feel like their country anymore. You can see it in the Google searches. After any big election or political mess, searches for how to move to Canada go through the roof. Relocation agencies say that for a huge number of their American clients, sometimes up to 80%, politics is the main reason for leaving. They're looking for countries that are just less crazy, more stable, more unified. Some are even getting Plan B residencies just in case things go sideways in an election. The results is that people are just choosing to opt out of the drama. By moving, they're stepping away from the daily screaming match. They find that in other countries, people can disagree about politics and still go get a beer together. And that is a massive relief. As one expat said, she just decided to leave to be happier, asking, is it worth it to you to fight the fight? Because honestly, I don't have it in me. For them, the pursuit of happiness meant pursuing a zip code where politics isn't a blood sport. Look, if this is hitting home and making you think, do me a solid favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm all about breaking down the big trends that are changing our world, and your support helps me keep the lights on. Now, let's get to the top 2 reasons people are leaving. You won't be surprised. And at number 2, honey, you already know, healthcare. The one thing that'll have you choosing between going to the doctor and paying your rent. The claim is simple and brutal. Americans are fleeing a healthcare system they see as ridiculously expensive, confusing, and scary. They're trading our private insurance mess for systems where good healthcare is a human right, not a perk of your job. This is a huge deal for retirees, but now it's a major factor for young families and everyone in between. And the numbers are just nuts. The U.S. spends almost $13,000 per person on health care every year, way more than any other rich country. And for what? A country like Spain, famous for its great health care, spends around $3,000 per person. Think about that. An American at age 60 might pay over $1,000 a month for insurance, while in Spain, a great private plan can be under $200. Doctor visits, medicine, hospital stays, all of it is dramatically cheaper. And in many European countries, if you become a legal resident, you get to use their public health care for free or close to it. The impact of this changes your entire life. It's freedom from the fear of medical debt. It means a scary diagnosis is a health problem, not a financial death sentence. It means retirees don't have to worry about one illness wiping out their life savings. As one expat in Spain put it, I cannot overstate how much better my quality of life is here. Cheap health care, affordable food, affordable rent. I feel very safe, very relaxed. Having good, affordable health care is the foundation of a good life, and millions of Americans feel like that foundation is crumbling at home, so they're going elsewhere to find it.
Hey, y'all, it's Auntie Sheila K answering one more question. I love this question. Let's talk about it. This person is replying to a comment. She says, I don't know, man. How's the healthcare system if something happens? Let's talk about this because I hear this all the time. People always say they live in America, always say, well, I live in America. We have the best healthcare in the world. What am I going to do about healthcare? Well, let me tell you, there is every year there's a ranking. Who the World Health Organization does it, and also the Healthcare Stats Organization does a World Healthcare ranking system, ranking from the best to the absolute worst. From 100 to 160 is the worst. I just looked at it for 2023. The United States ranking is 73.3. It was all the way down below the middle of the list. 2 clicks below that was Mexico at 73.1. So there were all these countries, at least 60 countries that were better than America rated globally for healthcare. So there are gazillions of places in this world that are way better than America for healthcare. America has some of the worst healthcare in the world, some of the most expensive. America is not about healing people. It is about creating a situation in which there are illnesses because Big Pharma owns the healthcare system in this country. And it's about treating things with pills. It's not about keeping people healthy. Whereas other countries take a holistic approach and they care about getting people healthy. So for me, my own experience, when I choose to move abroad, one of the criteria is it has to have amazing healthcare, number one, and also reasonable healthcare, number two, that I can pay for out of pocket. So all the countries I've been to have fit that criteria. Mexico, Dominican Republic, Australia, France as well, and all these other countries that I've lived in. Thailand, oh my God. I actually fly to Thailand to get executive health treatments done. I fly to Mexico when I didn't live there to get health treatments done. I fly to Colombia. I fly to all these countries to get health care and health treatments done. That's dental, vision. I've had the amazing eye care done in Thailand for a fraction of the price. So just educate you guys on this, you all. There are places that you can live. I don't care what kind of illnesses you have in which your health care is going to be, number one, amazing, and it's going to be cheap. And what you do is you get a global healthcare policy so that you've got health insurance. It's like a couple $100 per year to cover you and your family, depending on which one you choose. I personally just pay out of pocket for all my healthcare stuff, and it's been fine. So don't let something like, oh my God, I can't leave because of healthcare.
And here it is, the number one reason Americans are leaving in droves. The one that sits underneath all the others, the simple, soul-crushing cost of living. More than anything else, the feeling of being constantly broke is what's pushing people to find a better deal somewhere else. The claim is the heart of this whole thing. The American dream of a comfortable, middle-class life is actually more affordable overseas. For the price of just surviving in a stressful American suburb, you could be thriving and actually enjoying your life in many other parts of the world. And the proof is on every single price tag. Take Portugal, a super popular spot for Americans. The cost of living there is about a third lower than in the U.S. Rent is on average 40 to 50% cheaper. A one-bedroom in Lisbon might run you $1,300 to $1,650 a month. A similar spot in a city like San Francisco could easily be $3,500. And it's not just rent. Groceries are way cheaper. A nice dinner for two might cost you $50. While in the U.S., you're looking at closer to $90. Utilities, internet, everything is all less. A couple can live a really comfortable life in Portugal on $2,500 to $3,000 a month. In most American cities, that same budget is a recipe for constant stress. And the impact is a total life makeover. It's the difference between just surviving and actually living. It means you can save money again. It means that you can afford to travel, to have hobbies, to go out to eat without feeling guilty. It's about reclaiming your life from an endless pile of bills. It's realizing that your hard work and your money are worth more somewhere else. For the millions of Americans being ground down by how expensive it is to just exist, this isn't just about saving a few bucks. It's an escape hatch to a better, calmer, and happier life. Stats are one thing, but let's talk about the real people. Let me paint you a picture of who's actually making this move.
It is so bittersweet leaving. Today is my last day in my house. Everything is empty. Everything is gone. And it's not necessarily that things are gone, it's that I'm leaving. Like, listen. It's so peaceful back here. I would sit in my hammock and just lay back and watch the clouds. Watch the stars, watch the moon, talk to God. And it truly feels like the end this time. Like before, it didn't feel like the end. This feels like the end.
Hi, I am Coco Marie, and I moved my family from America to Turkey. I want our platform to be a resource for other families who also want to take the leap as well. We've been homeschooling our children for 3 years, and during the pandemic, we started preparing to world school them. Homeschooling just provided a better quality of life for them and us as well, and world schooling made us realize truly how limited our minds are in regards to religion and race relations. Turkey has been a wonderful landing pad for our family. We hired 2 wonderful nannies who have become a part of the family. Nana is like a grandmother and a mom to us. She takes care of us. Shopping in Turkey was so fun when we first moved, but because of inflation, it's just not as fun anymore. But we're going to show you everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. We encourage you to join us on this journey. And even the haters, you guys are welcome to follow along as well so we can silence you and all of your rumors. Shh. You would not believe the rumors that we hear about ourselves since we moved out of the country. Everything that we ate in America, we cannot tolerate anymore. We recently went back to America for 3 months, and yeah, I gotta tell you about that too. Everything that we have access to in America, we have access to in Turkey, minus the chemicals. Overall, we've enjoyed having time to teach our kids life skills and just spending time with them and watching them grow. They've grown so quickly. And we also make sure we have time for each other. From the extravagant date nights to the ones at home, I enjoy them both. Every Friday we go to the market on the Bosphorus, and I can't wait to take you guys with us. Istanbul is where we live in Turkey. It lies on both the continent of Europe and Asia. So there is a European side, which we live on, and the Asian side, which we like to go and play on. This is where I spend most of my evenings when I am in Turkey. You know, the media likes to portray Turkey as this like war-torn third world country, and it is not that.
Look at this. Assalamu alaikum. Why would I choose this piece? Go back to America where everybody's sitting up, gang banging, running around in 90-degree weathers with ski masks on. Why would I leave this? Why? For what? What? Like, let me know. Somebody, like, let me know. Why would I choose to go back into a toxic situation like this and I'm here? Nobody got guns. You don't hear no gunshots. You don't hear no crazy music. Why would I go back? Are y'all crazy? You get these messages, when you going back? Never. What, are you crazy? Y'all stuck on stupid, man. All in my DM talking about when you going back. Ain't you ready to go back? For what? I mean, y'all crazy. That's the problem. Y'all nuts, man. Stuck on stupid. Y'all the problem. You know, yeah, I figured it out.
Well, I am doing it. I am leaving the US for good this time. It feels so weird actually, because before we were just using the vacation visa because we wanted to make sure it's somewhere we want to be. We got our actual 4-year visa and we're leaving. It was just time. We're being priced out. We're exhausted. This rat race is like, that's not how we want to go out. It feels so surreal right now because it's like official. Like, we have the visas. Well, my husband does. I had to work on getting mine when we get back. But like, this is it. I am both extremely happy and very sad at the same time. is I'm gonna miss my family. But we just decided we're not gonna let anything stop us from living a life that makes us happy. And this life that we have chosen is what brings us joy.
It's officially been 17 months since I left America. A year and a half just flew by. When I left LA, I moved to Mexico. I spent 6 months there drawing near to God and working on myself inside and out. This journey has been deeply personal. I fasted, prayed, and cried out to God about the things I wanted to change, especially my profession. As cold as I am at makeup, I started to hate it. People will drain your energy, and I didn't want to feel trapped anymore, so I prayed and fasted to be done. When I got to my next destination, Thailand, I made a promise I wouldn't go back. I would go all in on content creation and invest in me. I've always been popular on social media, to be honest, but this time I started leading with purpose, and that made the biggest difference. I spent almost a year in Thailand building my personal brand and becoming a travel creator, something I said I would do back when I didn't even have a passport. But God gave me the vision, I showed up, I did the work, and He handled the rest. I'm really just getting started, but I've sown so many seeds into myself, into this journey. But one thing about me, I don't do complacency. In Thailand, it's been beautiful, but I've accomplished what I came here to do. So it's time for the next destination, the next goal, the next version of me. A lot of y'all are new here, and I don't talk much about my past, but before anything else, I'm a businesswoman. Business is literally my middle name. I started out selling sunglasses, then hair, lashes, purses, you name it, I've sold it. Living abroad was always about getting closer to the source, to build from the ground up. So that's exactly what I'm doing in my next country. In less than 30 days, I'm moving again. If you told me that I live in 3 countries in a year and a half, I'd say, yeah, that tracks. I predicted to, but I always go above and beyond. This life, my life, is about fulfilling the dreams God gave me when I was a little girl, and nothing will stop me but me. Day by day, I'm crushing my goals. That's what matters most to me in this lifetime. And yes, I'll still be in the travel niche because listen, girl, I'm gonna hop on a flight. But if you're new here, you're about to meet another side of me, and she's my favorite version. Hope you love her, but if not, child, I only mind the business that pays me.
So, why are Americans leaving? As you can see, it's not just one thing. It's the perfect storm. It's the logical answer to a cost of living that has just gotten out of control. It's the desperate search for a doctor's visit that won't cost you a month's rent. It's a retreat from all the anger and division that has worn everybody out. It's a run towards a life that feels safer, calmer, and more balanced. Those nearly 6 million Americans living abroad aren't weirdos. They're trendsetters. They are the first wave of a huge change in how people think about success and American dream. It's retirees who want a better, safer life for their kids. The one thing they all have in common is the discovery that the promise of a good life, one with less stress and more security, isn't a guarantee here anymore. For many, that promise has moved overseas. And look, this isn't just a story about failure. It's a story about taking control. It's about people being brave enough to vote with their feet and go find the life that they want. They're showing us that you don't have to just accept the reality of being overworked, in debt, and stressed out. The world is big. The new American dream isn't about a place anymore. It's about a principle, the pursuit of a life well lived. No matter where on the map you have to go to find it. Now, in my mind, though, I'm thinking about that one world order thing that started up a couple years ago. But I'll look into that on the next video. But I want to hear from you. What's the biggest thing that will make you think about moving? Or have you already thought about moving, or have you already moved? Let me know in the comments. The money, the healthcare, the politics, or something else. Drop it in the comments below. I read all of them. And if this hits a nerve, please like, share, and subscribe for more real talk about the trends shaping our world. See you in the next one.
Some people say it's easy moving abroad. Other people say it's hard moving abroad. I'll just be telling y'all my story of me living abroad. If you don't know who I am, I'm your digital Harriet Tubman, and I dropped out of school. I sold my car, I sold all my belongings, and moved to Thailand. But then I moved to Albania, and then I'm back in America. Like, what? Now, I've been getting a lot of questions of, like, why would you come back to America? And I get it, I do, and I'm going to explain. So, me leaving, I already did a series on why I left America and everything that led up to me moving to Thailand. But one of the biggest key factors of me leaving was that I felt as a black woman, I was entitled to take my rest and my relaxation. I was entitled to not continue to fight or have the pressure of doing something during this time. I felt that I deserved the right to heal and release, and that's exactly what I did. Now, I had the impression that this would be, a lifetime of me being away from America in order for me to truly heal. And, life happens. And so one of the other main things that had came up for me was I did not feel like enduring the pain, the fear, the scarcity of the Insurrection Act if it was to be implemented, especially with me being and all that. So I wanted to save myself the trouble, right? And while I was away, I was really feeling like this calling to come back to America. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what? Like, huh? And at first I was like, no, I'm gonna go to Africa. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go there. And I just kept feeling this urge, like, no, go back to America. Go back to America. And I had even started to do research and stuff on, like, ancient black tribes and all these different things to where I could feel closer to my ancestors. And I really was getting closer to my ancestors. That's what the whole process was. And I truly was healing while I was abroad and all those things. And I didn't have the answer as to why I came back to America until I got back into America. Until I got here, and I had been here for a little bit of time. And now it's been maybe a month and a half, almost 2 months. So that is why now I can tell you all why I came back to America. As soon as I got off the plane, I seen LA being filled with troops. And I was immediately like, oh, I'm so concerned. Like, da-da-da. I felt this rush. I'm like, this is why I didn't want to come back. And da-da-da. And, like, feeling this scaredness. But then what came to me is that, like, I am divinely protected. And over time, like, me being here and really paying attention to what's going on in the news, like, I had to realize that there was nothing for me to be fearful of. That nothing was going to occur to me. That I was meant to vibrate, share, and nourish the narrative, the reality of a better outcome and a better world. Not run from the reality which is trying to be implemented. I had to realize that there was a difference between, the fear mongering and not of the people who are sharing the information, the people who are creating and doing these things, trying to get a reaction out of us so that a certain reality can be created. I had to recognize that my power is within, and just paying attention to the dynamic between what's going on in politics and the way the earth is reacting. Nature, the earth, the energies that be are in our favor. And when I say our favor, I truly do mean our favor. Like, that was one of my main concerns is, like, as black people, we have already experienced slavery. And I did not want to be in any state where it felt anything similar to that. And that's just my dead honest truth. I felt like my ancestors had already been through that pain, And over time of just speaking with my ancestors and healing my nervous system, taking the time to heal my nervous system, because that's what we all have been doing instead of engaging in this, I realized and I heard them say that where we place our attention is where there is power, and we are not placing our attention there. That the reality which is being created is one that is inevitably in our favor. What America says that it stands for, soon enough it truly will. Soon enough there will truly be freedom, equality, and liberation, and I would rather be surrounded by my community of people, my culture, in this fight than be alone. And that's the truth. Thank y'all for allowing me space in your day to hear my story and my experience. I really hope that, as I share these different experiences, that it is, like, inspiring other people, enlightening them, and things of that nature. And I will continue to travel, of course, and go on different journeys of
liberating and healing my being. But yes, for now, America is home. It truly is.